There's nobody to sign the deed because there's no administrator at the time.
¿Sabe dónde era Mike? En Houston, me quedé mi well, mi deal, mi something, y ya sabes,
Hey, welcome back. How's it going?
He's not going to be here.
Oh, really?
Morning, sir.
Yeah, these
Oh, we turned it off.
Come over here so you can feel better.
I don't know if I want to be in those seats. I don't think I want to be in those seats.
Este sistema de uno.
Might be something with the city.
Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. At this time, we're going to be convening our Drainage District Board of Directors for today, January the 29th, 2013. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Flores, Precinct 3, and myself. We have a quorum. Is there anything under open forum? On the consent agenda, any concerns? No?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 4,
Oh, now it's on. Thank you. Item 4, request approval to accept bids and award service contract to sole bidder meeting all specified requirements for RFB number 13002010B, hauling of dirt with load op, was option to load. The lowest bidder and the only bidder was Roy's Hauling Services.
So moved.
aye, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval to accept bids and award service contract, the lowest qualified bidder meeting all specifications requirements for RFB number 1300101009A, hauling services, gravel, sand, and/or crushed caliche. Again, the only bidder on it was Roy's Hauling. And we do go through the full
Second.
advertisement and everything on these, sir.
All right, those in favor, motion made and seconded indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, request approval of the attached specifications and approval to advertise for the following. 1, RFQ number 1300302222A, professional engineering services pool. 2, RFQ number 1300502222B, real estate appraisal services for the pool. 3, RFQ number 1300602222C, professional surveying services for the pool. Our pool terminates at the middle of next month, so we're re-advertising to bring a new set of engineers and surveyors and appraisers into the pool for the board to consider for any selection they might have coming up.
So moved.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5, approval of interlocal cooperative agreement between the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and the City of McAllen as it relates to the drainage improvements along Benson Road and FM 495 to 3 Mile Line. Commissioner Flores, this is the first project on the bond where we're going to be putting in the gate structure on the Mission Lateral, tying in Benson. We're doing it as an interlocal through the City of McAllen because they have a contractor, IOC, that's doing Benson Road. And right now is the opportune time before they finish paving it and then have to cut the road, that we're going to do an interlocal with them. We'll provide the boxes, their contractor will install it, and thus not have to go cut the road and cost us more money.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We have no item in closed session unless the board wishes to entertain.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to be convening our regular Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, January the 29th, 2013. For the record, present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Flores, Precinct 3, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Townsend?
Dear Father in heaven, please bless all of us today as we gather together to help the county. We're all here because we care for the county. We ask you to give us wisdom, help people make good decisions that will impact us in a good way. Please bless our families, our nation, our troops, and please help bring rain to our valley. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, at this time, under open forum,
Judge, we have consent before.
a consent agenda. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Judge, I would like to ask that agenda items, consent agenda item 11A and 11L be pulled for discussion.
All right,
Second.
those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On
Madam
11, if I may, on 11A, we prematurely placed this on the agenda. It will be on for next week. We're asking for no action. And on 11L, my staff was going to be in contact. There's sufficient funding on these requisitions for the budgeting. I mean, there's enough budget and funding for the extension. The department would then meet with DBM on funding the leases that will be on the agenda. This funding here is just to cover the grace period extension.
So you're recommending it?
Yes, please.
Marty, I think that the issue with that one was that the agenda caption should read AI 35511 instead of AI 366.
Oh, yes, and we had sent an email to Ms. Letty yesterday telling her that indeed she was correct.
Okay.
So
the
it's
agenda
just a
caption-
typo, yeah, it's
The
a
agenda caption
typo.
is to be corrected. That's all the only issue.
And
we have.
and I do recommend action.
Need a second? Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, and item 5 under open forum, first presenter is Bobby Villarreal.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. This coming month, a few dates of importance. We're having the Alliance for I-69 briefing and reception in Austin on Tuesday, February 5th and February 6th. It's been disseminated to each of the commissioners through email and their chief of staffs. And then also we have a Texas Transportation Forum that goes from Sunday through Tuesday in Austin as well, February 17th through the 19th. And another important date that we have, if you can mark on your calendars, is RGV Day, which will be Wednesday, February 27th in Austin as well. And on that, I don't have any agenda yet, but they're going to get it to us soon. Thank you.
Next presenter is Virginia Townsend.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Townsend.
Virginia Townsend, Precinct 3. Last week, you took on the agenda, you did the first thing on it, was discussion, consideration, and possible action on proposed policy restricting salary schedule changes after budget adoption proceedings, which I was happy to see that you passed it. But then I had 2 people call me who said, well, I watched it, and after they passed it, the whole agenda was full of salary schedules. I can't imagine what that cost the county, but certainly it cost us a lot of money. So I guess I can presume that you're not going to do it anymore, that whoever got their requests in, fine, but no more. At least I hope that's how it is. And I hate to say that me talking about you guys showing up on time did not hit home at all. And then I got to thinking, let me see, it's $500 for every half hour that we're on the air. I would really like to see everybody show up on time. I'll tell you what, because you were here today at 9:30, but the drainage is supposed to start at 9. So people are just sitting here waiting for the drainage time to come, and I see we have an attorney in the, I can't imagine what he's getting per hour. Nevertheless, I would love to see it start at 9 if it's supposed to start at 9. Otherwise, just take drainage and put it afterwards and start your regular meeting at 9:30. Then we don't waste time and everybody can get here on time. At least I hope so, because it's going to bug me. You'll probably hear it every week if you don't do something. Thanks.
Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
My name is Opal Billman. Community property is owned by two people who are married to each other. One owner cannot convey, sell, place in trust, or will the community property of the other owner. When one of the spouses wants a divorce, there must be a settlement of their community property between the two owners. That's why the court is involved. The judge cannot take over the community property belonging to the spouses as if he owns it and do what he chooses to do with their property. It is a divorce settlement. The settlement is supposed to follow the rule of law. The settlement between the two owners should be just, which means it is fair to both spouses. That's the responsibility of the judge. Because there is no third owner, there is no third person in a divorce settlement. Until now, I have never heard of a divorce settlement in which the judge gives the entire community property to an outside third party who has absolutely nothing to do with the property or the people who own it. We are a nation of law. It is often stated, no one is above the law. In this case, attitudes are, the judge has the power. Nobody is going to do anything about your 15 years of false imprisonment, not even end it. And nobody is listening to you. In Hidalgo County, can a district judge overrule the Constitution and Texas state law? It is your courthouse, your county, your state, and your country too. If I can work an entire lifetime, produce something of value, and have it taken away from me to be given to another person for free, then that is the policy being practiced in the country, and people in power would be above the law, because that action does not adhere to the rule of law in my country. Also, Joe and I dredged a small private lake. An irrigation district pipeline runs beside it. I would like to know if the irrigation district has actually piped into our lake and is using it as if it is their reservoir. I would like to know if the irrigation district is draining water from our lake and selling it. Thank you very much for your time.
Next presenter is Lydia Jeffrey. Lydia Jeffrey. Is she outside? Okay, viene. ¿Será combustible? Qué bueno yo. A ver si te da las gracias.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Ms. Jeffrey.
My name is Lydia R. Jeffrey, and I'm here to thank Commissioners Flores and the Owls who have a big heart and kindness to help me, but I'm sorry that I went to tell you about the man who worked in my house. He done more damage than helped me. They ruined my house instead of fixing it. And I want to show you the last papers I'm gonna file to the court. I didn't want to do this until they help me with a lawyer, but myself I can't do anymore. I do my part, and they don't wanna listen to me, so these are all I want. May I approach?
Judge.
May I approach to you?
Yes, ma'am. You want me to read it? Well, it's pretty long. What is, Ms. Jeffrey, I'm not trying to ignore this, but this has to do with a trial and the awarding of peremptory strikes? But this is, well, it says error in awarding peremptory strikes, where you can read whatever portion you'd like. It's very long, and you're entitled to 5 minutes, and, there's no way you're going to be able to arrive and to do it in 5, but you can pick whatever portion you would like.
So she wants you to read it later on.
Oh, later on?
Not, you don't want to read it over in open court? No.
Okay. Jaime, make copies of this, please. Make a couple of
Thank
copies.
you very much.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Make a couple of copies of this and give it back to her. All right, item 6A, report from the Rio South Texas Economic Council.
Morning, Judge. We have Alma Kaleli, the new director for the ResTech, and we have Keith Patridge from McAllen EDC and Steve Alenius from the McAllen Chamber to make the presentation.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to give you a short presentation on where we are with ResTech. I want to, first of all, commend the county. This organization was created just almost 5 years ago, and Hidalgo County played a critical role in making this happen. And it really kind of goes to the heart of what you see happening not only in our county but across the Rio Grande Valley, and that is trying to build coalitions to go beyond the Friday night light mentality and getting folks to work together in order to compete. And I think once we can get industrial prospects down here, and once we can get companies looking at this as a region, then it gives each community a chance to compete and try to secure those companies for their individual communities. So ResTech provides a vehicle to do a lot of marketing that some of the larger communities are capable of doing, but some of the smaller communities are not. And so I'm going to ask Alma to give you just a very brief overview of this past year's activities.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here today. What I wanted to cover, and you have it as a handout in your packets, are the trade shows that we did, because first and foremost, Real South Texas is a marketing organization. Together we collaborate to bring our message to site selectors that are out there representing companies with expansion plans and relocation plans, and also to the companies directly. We go to trade shows. That is our main avenue of being able to reach our market. And what you have before you, we do list the trade shows that we attended to, last fiscal year, along with the corresponding leads generated from each one of those. We have 6 target industries. And so these trade shows are representative of the industries that have opportunity for growth in our area. We have Solar Power International. We attended that, and 190 leads on that one as an example. And then also we went to the International Council of Shopping Centers, because a lot of our smaller communities are not able to go on their own and set up their booth and take up the expense of exhibiting there. So that is one of the benefits that we provide, is that we go out there and we secure the space, we work the booth, and we give our members an opportunity to go and work with us and to share the leads. So that's what you have before you. We also participate in trade missions with Texas One, which is a program of the governor's office. And last year we did go to the Chicago Trade Mission, where we met with site selection consulting firms there as well. For the upcoming year, we have the schedule of the trade shows that we will be participating in as well. Business Facilities Live Exchange, MD&M West Plastic. That one is coming up here mid-February. And McAllen EDC will be participating with us, as well as Harlingen EDC. We also attend the Wind Power Show, and we will also do business recruitment missions with the state. So this is just a brief overview as to our main avenue for marketing our region. And I will also introduce Keith Patridge here with McAllen EDC, and he can share. He's been a member with us also for the 5 years.
Thank you, Judge, members of the commission. I would just like to echo, this is an opportunity for us to work together, get a good utilization on our money, because we're sharing the cost of going out and marketing our area. Once the companies come down, we can get them down here, why then we can individually profile our communities to show them what we have to hopefully attract the investment and job creation here to our community. It's a very competitive world out there. We're not just competing against the cities in the valley. We're not competing against the cities in the state of Texas. We're competing against the world. And in order for us to really be able to compete in that environment, we really need to show our region as a region and to profile the strengths that we have in the entire region. The ports, the airports, the bridges, the workforce, all of those things we have to use as an aggregate in order to get them interested in our area. And then once we get them down here, hopefully we'll be able to close them in one of our communities. So we would ask for your continued support on ResTech, and we will, I think we will continue to make it an important investment for Hidalgo County. So thank you. Any questions of
Commissioners? No, but thank you very much, sir, and lady, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Judge, we would seek approval on item 6A2, discussion and approval of the service agreement for Rio South Texas Economic Council pursuant to LGC Section 381.004.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And we would seek approval on 6A3, approval of the 2013 membership dues for Rio South Texas Economic Council in the amount of $30,000, with authority for county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 6B,
Yes, sir.
an
Judge,
appointment to the Board of Building Adjustments. I believe the individual we're going to be nominating and naming is Ms. Lindley Almaguer.
Yes, sir, that was an oversight from last week. We appointed her to the Subdivision Advisory Committee, and unbeknownst to us, or by mistake, we left her off the building, the Board of Building Adjustments. So we'd ask for that name to be entered.
I need a motion.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Virginia. 4,000 dólares con la casa para que you fix your house, pero suyo. ¿Qué quieres hacer?
Sí, me está pidiendo.
Pues, pero le digo que $8,000 le compré todo de free. ¿Y qué dice?
No, no es nada de eso, pero dice de su casa. Something about a trial. I have no idea what she's talking about here. Yeah, Mr. Guerra, you're up.
Judge, my apologies. Trying to take care of a couple of matters. Item 6A, 7A, I'm sorry. Item 7A, 1 and 2, there's no action at this time unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Item 7B, I'm going to delay for a bit until I have Mr. Daniel here. 7B. Item 7C, Judge, Commissioners, I do have a request for Mr. Joe Peña to travel to Fort Worth. I had this one mistaken with another request. This is to attend the IRA Region 2 Winter Forum. Mr. Peña is paying the travel expenses, and in keeping with the protocol that we have set, I am asking, since he is a county department, I am asking that, or keeping the protocol that it comes before Commissioner's Court, for him to travel to Fort Worth.
Move to approve.
Second.
But the county will not incur any expenses,
Mr. Peña is incurring the expenses.
paying everything?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is that proper? I mean, if it's needed, we ought to pay for it. If it's not needed, why should he go?
Mr. Peña had requested that he would cover the expenses, and so I'm honoring his request.
Those in favor?
He is going to get paid for it, right? For those days.
Yes, no, he's traveling up there on our behalf, but I'm honoring his request.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 60, Judge Commissioners, I'm also asking permission for Cristina Perez to travel to San Antonio, and this is for the stock show and rodeo. This is for our Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and the dates would be February 20th through the 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm also asking for AgriLife Extension Service Director, Ms. Barbara Stars, to travel to Austin, and this is for the legislative briefing on urban program impacts, and this would be from February 13th through the 14th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, for our Veterans Office, I'm asking for Mr. De Los Santos also to travel to Austin. This would be for the Veterans Summit on February 11th through the 13th of this year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, we do have a request from the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce. I do have Ms. Letty Gonzalez in the audience, but they're asking to use the county square for the 45th Annual Fiesta Edinburgh celebration on Saturday, February 23rd of 2013. Everything is in order, yes, sir.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G is discussion possible action on an order authorizing the resale of foreclosed real estate properties pursuant to the Texas Property Code Section 34.05A, C and D. This is by Purdue Brandon, and I don't know if Mr. John David is in the, oh, yes, there he is. Sorry about that, I didn't see you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerra. Members of the court,
Morning,
appreciate
sir.
your time. We're here soliciting an order of the Commissioners Court to authorize a tax resale. Just a little bit of background information. Typically, when we take a judgment against a taxpayer for ad valorem taxes owed, where the county is the lead entity, since we represent Hidalgo County, we try and work with taxpayers before we try and sell the property. Because once we take it to the courthouse steps on the first Tuesday of a month, you have publication costs that go up and costs of sale, and that just adds to liability. But if we're not able to work something out with a taxpayer, the property's sold. Now, one of the things when it is auctioned off that first time at the courthouse steps, the law requires that the successful bidder meet a minimum threshold, and that is the entire tax liability owing to all taxing entities or an amount that is equivalent to the appraised value at the Hidalgo County Appraisal District. So sometimes properties are sold for the taxes owed or the appraised value, in which case at that point the taxing entities like the county and the drainage district, they get their ad valorem taxes plus penalties and interest, as do the school districts and the other taxing entities. However, if there is no interest at that rate, the property is struck off. In cases where we're the lead lawyers representing the county, the case gets struck off to Hidalgo County as a trustee. When the property is struck off, it is no longer generating taxes. It belongs to the county along with the taxing entities that have jurisdiction over the property. If it's McAllen, it would be McAllen ISD, City of McAllen, South Texas College, depending on where it is, but the county is the lead. So in the past couple of years, we've had 3 tax sales. What we're proposing is that we do a sheriff's tax sale. The beauty of this type of sale is that if the court approves a minimum threshold, a minimum bid for these properties, and we have 22 properties in inventory right now. That is our entire inventory. If we're able to sell these in March, Hidalgo County will not have any foreclosures as lead trustee, because we will have disposed of all of the properties that we've taken judgments on that did not sell at the courthouse steps. A little bit of background, the county has an interest in about 235 properties that other taxing entities have, and there's another firm that is the lead on that. And those go back several years in terms of judgments. When we get done with these properties, we're then going to start looking at those cases. We've already started an analysis, and where the county has the greatest interest, we're going to start moving on those to push those. So what have you done in the past? We've come to you and requested authority to sell for 35% of the appraised value. Why do we ask that? Obviously, there was no interest at the courthouse steps, and it's very important that these properties get put on the tax roll as quickly as possible, because as long as they're in your hands or a school district's hands, no one is getting any benefit. Along with that, the properties are deteriorating. Nobody's taking care of these properties. And you'll see in the zip drives that we gave you, the thumb drives I should say, you'll see that some of these properties are in a sad state. They're fallen into disrepair. Nobody's taking care of them. There's no interest. The lots aren't mowed, windows are broken, you have vandalism. So they are depreciating in value. And so it's important to get them out of our hands. So we asked you for a 35% minimum bid. We had a tax sale in December. We put 45 properties up for sale. We successfully got 35 properties sold. Some at 35% and some at 20%. The ones at 20%, we had failed to sell them at 35% in the prior tax sale. So we got your authority to go to 20% on those. So what am I here to ask you today? I'm asking you, there are 9 properties that we did not sell at our last tax sale. They didn't sell at 20%, which was the minimum at that time. So we're asking for your authority to go down to 10%. You have a description of these properties. Some are small strips of land, some are tracts that have an easement through them. They're just not attractive tracts. And so our hope is that we can generate some interest at 10% on these and hopefully have somebody buy them. Hopefully somebody will get into a bidding contest with someone else and up the price. But These 9 tracts that are in Exhibit A attached to the order we're asking the court to approve, they didn't get any takers at 20%, so we're asking to drop the price to 10%. We have 22 other properties that we're asking that you authorize us to sell at 35%,
That's what he's talking about.
and this will be our first attempt.
Exhibit A.
Now, in terms of something to consider, and I know these percentages seem low, but every time we put these properties up for sale, costs are significant. By law, we have to publicize 3 weeks, 3 Saturdays prior to the sheriff's sale. The last time we did this, the publication costs were $21,000. The order of priority when there is a sale of a piece of property, you first start out with publication costs, then you have to pay an ad litem. In many cases, the courts, before they give us a judgment, a tax judgment, they will appoint ad litems to represent heirs or, unknown persons who may have an interest. Then you have court costs, then you have sheriff's fees, then you have our legal research fees, which is title search, and then the taxing entity and us as lawyers with a 15% interest, we get paid. So what happens when you have a $4,000 or $5,000 property? The costs are going to exceed the value of the property, and no taxing entity. There are some cases with the lower valued properties where no taxing entity gets any benefit. So the idea is to take these properties, put them back on the roll, let somebody pay taxes. So you have an order of the Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County, a draft. This is identical to past orders that you have approved. And in it, we're asking you to approve the sale of the properties on Exhibit A and Exhibit B with the proposed minimum bids.
Now, Exhibit A is 9 properties at 10% of the appraised value.
Yes, sir.
And Exhibit B is what?
Is 22 properties at 35% of the appraised value.
And those first ones didn't sell.
21 properties, I'm sorry.
21 and 9?
21 and 9.
Move for approval.
The notice that, you put it in a paper, I guess? Is that what it is?
Sir?
The notice that you provide to the public?
Yes, sir. We will publish notice 3 times, 3 Saturdays before the March tax sale, and it'll have legal descriptions. For the
Do you
court.
put them in your website or the county's website so people can see the picture of the property?
Yes, sir. And
Not just the legal?
that was going to be the final point. Once the court approves this, we will download it on a link. People can go to the Purdue Brandon website, click on Hidalgo County, and it'll take them to a section that has tax resales, and they will have all the information, photographs,
Put it in ours.
that type of information. And we can talk with the county also to maybe get a link
No,
from...
I'm looking at Karina and telling her to put it on the county website also.
Well, we'll do that in addition, but we do have it on the Purdue Brandon website. And so once it's approved, all this information that we provided you will be downloaded, and it'll be available to the public.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. Those in favor to approve it indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir. May I be excused?
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Judge, would it be possible to do the same thing for all the other properties? Not just the ones that are going to be on this sale, but the ones that they're going to sell at the steps of the courthouse for the county?
Well, the ones that we, or Purdue Brandon is going to sell are the ones that are sold every Tuesday.
Because these properties are the ones that he already tried to sell and has not been successful. And my question is, can he also post in the county's website all of the other properties that are going to go for sale the first time?
We can work with the county. There shouldn't be a problem. On the cases that we are lead attorneys in for Hidalgo County, that shouldn't be a
Well,
problem.
if there's no problem, and even if though you're not the lead lawyer, but the county has an interest, maybe we could put it on, if you can't do it on your website for whatever reason, put it on the county website so people will know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We will.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Item H.
Thank you. Item H is approval to accept the settlement check from TML Intergovernmental Risk Pool in the amount of $1,079.60, and this is for property damages to one of our county vehicles.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. That's the 1 and 2.
Right.
All right, item I.
Item I is approval to accept settlement check from Travelers Insurance Company in the amount of $22,775.65, and this is as a result of a total loss to one of our county vehicles.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item J, Judge Commissioners, I wanted to come back to court and put on the record that I'm asking action regarding the use of the vacant restitution center building located on M Road to house the Precinct 4 shop operations and related personnel. Judge Commissioners, if you recall, I had a project, or we had entertained the use of this building to house county departments. That didn't turn out in the best interest for the county. It was cost prohibitive when we got in our bids. And so again, in keeping in line with the court's directive for us to utilize all available facilities for Hidalgo County operations, there is a need right now in working with the precinct to use this building. So I wanted to come back to court and put on the record that the previous project did not work out. I'm asking the court to accept or put on the record that we're going to use the vacant what we call the vacant M Road building, which is the old restitution center building for Precinct 4 shop operations and the related personnel for the shop.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. I've been asked by the Constable's Office to present item 8 for Constable Precinct 1. He's asking approval to appoint a reserve deputy constables by Constable Celestino Avila Jr. This is in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012. The names of the individuals are Arnold Salazar, Troy Allen Williams, Abelino Cano, Roberto Alvarez.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B would be for Constable Precinct 2. He is requesting authorization to submit the fiscal year 2012 Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture Report. This is required by the Attorney General of Texas.
Second.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Do these require audits or anything like that, Bob?
Yes,
Not this one, Judge. This is a zero balance report. It doesn't require your signature, it requires a signature only of the
All right,
constable.
thank you. Item 9, our Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Richard Ozuna for the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Under item 9A, number 1, see, approval of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, the OCDEF, agreement between Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office and the Drug Enforcement Administration, McAllen District, Houston Division Office, the OCDEF Strike Force Group D-81.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
Order number 2, under the same A, approval of certification of revenues as certified by our county auditor for the OCDEF grant contract SW-TXS-0861.
And item 3 is to appropriate that amount.
Correct, sir.
Move for approval on 2 and 3.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, under the 1100 Cops Universal Hiring 13, the 1284 account, number 1 is the approval to redistribute the cost allocation for various positions under the Cops Universal Hiring 13 grant as listed in Exhibit A, effective 1/1 of 2013.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under number 2, approval interdepartmental transfer.
And approval of the revised salary schedules.
Move for
Move
approval
for
on 2 and 3.
Yes, sir, Judge.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, discussion, authorization, and approval to execute the Operation Stone Garden Grant Subrecipient Interlocal Agreement from the Governor's Division of Emergency Management, Texas Department of Public Safety, between the County of Hidalgo and the City Police Departments, which are Alamo, Alton, Donna, Edinburgh, Hidalgo, La Joya, Mercedes, Mission, Palmhurst, Palmview, Benitas, FAR, San Juan, Sullivan City, and Wesco, total of 15.
Second.
Lieutenant, who is responsible for making sure that the subrecipients comply with the requirements of the agreement?
It's between ourselves and with the help of our auditor's office.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, under the Sheriff's Office 2011 Operation Stone Garden Grant 1284, is the approval to appropriate the following city budgets for the awarded amounts pursuant to subrecipient interlocal agreements with the County of Hidalgo for Operation Stone Garden Grant from the Governor's Division of Emergency Management, Texas Department of Public Safety. And they're listed. Would you like me to read them, Judge?
It's the same one.
Right. The 15 cities and the amounts are stated. Need a motion to approve?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That should
Thank
be
you.
it. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Item 10, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 10A, sir, discussion action including but not limited to indigent health care program procedures and expenditures. Just one quick update on this, sir. I want to acknowledge Martin out of the judge's office, who has been working diligently with our indigent health care in reviewing cases on appeal. They've worked diligently in working several cases this last year that they need to be acknowledged for. There's some procedural things that we're looking at and upgrading on some of the steps that are taking place, and we're looking forward to having a meeting with him and some of the other indigent healthcare staff in the upcoming days to be able to get ready for this year's whole new level of indigent healthcare programming. So I like to acknowledge their hard work on that part. And for our part, there was a couple of rule changes that happened through indigent care that we will be briefing staff on that hopefully we'll be able to get some resolution and get that education in place. So I think it'll work out well. Questions on that or anything before I move on to the next item?
There's no action?
No action, it's just a
All right.
discussion point. And item B, discussion and approval of 1115 waiver. So we're still waiting on standby for CMS on the results of the 1115 proposal that was submitted. We're expected to hear something hopefully end of March, 1st of May. The other thing, sir, Tropical Texas MHMR Behavioral Health System contacted us in reference to, they have some IGT available still left, that's not a lot, but they have something available that they're looking, Commissioner and Judge and Commissioners, into possibly expanding services at the John Austin Peña Substance Abuse Facility. And they are exploring the possibility of using their IGT, and maybe we could partner with them and work out of that facility. They're looking at putting a proposal together, but I wanted to brief you all on that as a possibility that expansion of services may be available through that facility. Of course, we'll go through legal counsel and review everything, but I just want to make it, put it on the record that we are exploring expanding services there in using IGT from Tropical Texas.
What kind of services are they? Residential or?
No, residential's not quite there, sir. We're needing more, building more bricks and mortar for residential. But they would expand outpatient services for adolescents and also maybe some adults as well. And they're also looking at coordinating primary care for those patients. They have approximately, and don't hold me to the number, about 300,000, 400,000 that might still be able to be multiplied, and they might be able to use that to expand services there. So I just find it's a great opportunity for them to partner with the county and be able to get services to our residents. And it would be almost, the program was designed to be for the poorest of the poor. I mean, they'd be designed to help those people, so.
And those in need, I mean, we have unfortunately a great number of individuals that need that kind of help.
Yes, sir, we do, sir. So I guess
the nearest areas for
Corpus and
residential,
Laredo.
Corpus and Laredo. And,
That's correct. So I think the only thing I'm asking this court, sir, is just permission to pursue discussion with Tropical Texas on the development of a proposal in the event that the state allows us to use that IGT.
For approval.
So, Eddie, this will be done after the plan is approved, right?
Pardon me?
this will be done after the plan, the 1115 waiver plan is approved?
No, this would actually be, there would be an amendment to the plan under their IGT planning if this is allowed by the state. Right now, the state is not real clear if they're going to allow what they call discretionary fund pass 3B as in boy. And if they allow that, Tropical Texas will be able to submit this additional plan in conjunction with what they've already submitted.
Right, that's what I'm saying, after the state approves it, then you can go through this.
Yeah, of course, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I just want,
I know we have a motion, but do we have a second?
Yes. Second.
All right. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
thank you very much,
But,
Judge.
Judge, I don't think that was the caption of the agenda item. The agenda item is discussion approval of the waiver document and waiver plan.
And we went ahead and approved, took action and approved that portion that required it.
Is that the case, Eddie?
That's what you were seeking in
I was
this
just
agenda
seeking
item.
permission to follow through on getting into in discussion with Tropical Texas on amending the plan that was submitted already if the state approves that amendment point.
So you're going to amend the...
You now have that permission, Eddie.
Thank you. Yeah.
Judge, Commissioners, I think just to be clear, he needs to place on the next agenda and be specific on the agenda caption.
Yes, sir. We'll do that.
All right.
And I'll get more detail on that. That's not a problem. Thank you.
There was no action on that one also, right? Eddie?
So we got to rescind our action?
No, we just keep that action, but we'll come back with another more specific.
We're going to clarify it next meeting, but lay it out exactly as, worded exactly as you want us to approve it.
Well,
okay?
we're still working with Tropical on that and trying to get that detail. My only thing is I just want to have permission to talk to Tropical about it. That's it. That's my number one thing.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Item C, sir, we're not going to take any action on that as of today, sir.
All right, item D.
Item D, requesting approval to process the following invoice as a claim with authority for county treasurer to issue payment after review of audit processing procedures and completed by the county auditor. This is to the city of FAR for subscription fees for 800 megahertz radio frequency permission to get access to the radio system. This was an invoice that was submitted late by the city of FAR, and we're following through on closing that out.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item E, sir, requesting authorization to submit Texas Department of Health Services contract request for revision to amend Hidalgo County PPCPS and BIDS grant contract 2013-041-204-003. The purpose of this change to the request to revise the project and request additional funding in the amount of $605. The additional funding will require a local match of $360. That's a 10% match. We reviewed with Budget Office, I think, Sergio, Mr. Cruz is here, and he's authorized the 10% match on that if court
Those in
approves.
favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, sir, requesting approval to accept immunization branch's local grant contract 2013-041-204, Amendment 005A. The purpose of this amendment is to move funds between budget categories. The effective date of this amendment is 1/29/13. We had some capital expenditure items, sir, that we're not going to be able to get procured yet because we're pending some construction at the Mission Clinic. That item is, we're going to move it to use that funding for something else.
Second. Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, requesting approval to accept immunization local branch contract 2013-041-204, Amendment 5B. The purpose of this amendment is to include service provisions covering response efforts by local health departments. The effective date is 1/29/13. This means that immunization staff, in the event of an emergency declared by the state or the county, immunization staff can participate in non-immunization medical support in the event of an emergency.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, emergency management.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Discussion, consideration,
Good
and
morning, sir.
approval. Discussion, consideration, and approval of memorandum of understanding between the Texas Forest Service Regional Incident Management Team member and the County of Hidalgo with the authority of the Emergency Management Director to execute documents for the following county employees. Would you like for me to read off the names? Yes, sir? Would you like for me to read the names individually?
Well, we got their name. Can you tell us what the purpose is? What is it that we're trying to accomplish?
This is a memorandum of understanding between the county and the state through the Texas Forest Service for whenever they do call upon us, the incident management team, we can be deployed anywhere throughout the United States, Texas, and also sometimes overseas. Also, it provides for free training for the individuals here in the county, which is actually the main purpose of the Forest Service, is to help train up the individuals here so we can take care of ourselves without having to call and ask for help from
So
the
we're
outside.
part of a national group, I would imagine, and we're part of a certain region?
Yes, sir. We are the
And if
incident
there's
management
a
team for the Grand Valley.
catastrophe or a need for more additional help, these are the people that are going to be going.
Yes, sir. These people, along with people throughout the Rio Grande Valley.
All right.
Judge, the question comes up every time their individuals are going to be deployed. Who is responsible for covering the cost of transportation?
Well, I would think we are, if we're going to be part of this group, and these are our people.
That's going to be an emergency, so we don't have time to act.
Actually,
But sometimes the Forest Service reimburses for some of these costs.
Yes.
And that's the question that comes up. Who's going to pay for what, and who's going to
The
be
Forest
responsible for
Service, the Forest Service will reimburse gas and mileage. And also, if you rent a vehicle other than taking a county vehicle, they will reimburse you for the renting of the vehicle, along with any expenses that you have to pay.
All right.
They also reimburse for any payment for the individual.
I'm sure every effort will be taken to try to get back for the county anything if we can get reimbursed, but at the time of an emergency, we just go.
What I would suggest, Judge, is for the county to develop a policy, because, again, I get calls whenever someone is going to be deployed, and I'm asked, what about the timesheets? What about all the time they're going to be away? And I think it's a good idea for the county.
Supervisors should take care of that, whoever's in
That's
charge.
correct. In this case, it's Mr. Montoya, I would think, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's his job, to make sure that he documents every hour spent and expense made.
Also, with Mr. Montoya, I assist him in that as well. As the coordinator for the regional team, we have a redundancy program where I'll check them, Mr. Montoya will check them. Everybody is required to turn in what is called a crew time report, which is basically logging every single hour for hour, including meals, and all that is turned in.
Because it works both ways. If we have a need for them to come, they're going to show up.
Absolutely, and we have called upon them before. We have
Yes.
used them in our EOCs before.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Our IT department,
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. This is our yearly renewal item for cell phone service at the county. We have a relatively small cell phone platform. We've been reducing the number of handsets as the years go by. So I'm going to take these point at a time. So 12A is authorization to use the JP Tech Fund, and I'm going to request that we take no action on 12A1D, which are cell phones for constable, and that really shouldn't be coming out of JP Tech Fund. But the A1A is a name change, as is 1B, and C and E is purchase of a data card for a constable. Now, I know there's a concern on the auditor's letter on that. In years past, we've always used the JP Tech Fund to provide the constables with data cards.
I thought constables, their phones got paid from that money they get from the funeral escorts.
The JP Tech Fund?
Everything from constables, what I understand, they say that
that's what they were, at least we've been told that.
their phones and their money they raised from the...
I could be wrong on the phone. The data cards we do provide on to them so they can check the JP system when they're out serving citations and warrants. That's the system they check, is the JP, and they're working for the JPs when they're out in the field. So we've been providing them data cards in the past. The cell phones, if you would like to entertain approving it, pending me checking into if we do any other cell phones for constables, or maybe we just need to standardize that. And then that's to answer your concern.
Judge, the concern that I have is just for the record. The revenues that IT wants to use, according to statute, can be utilized for education and training for the courts, and also for technology enhancements for the justice courts, not for the constables. So I just want to state that
This
for
is
the record.
as brought through court 2 weeks ago, we just had a purchase of laptops and data cards for the constables as an extension of the functions of the JP offices in the serving of their citations and their documents. And we have had those actions approved. We had Josie up here justifying precisely that point. So this is just a minor point on top of what we had approved previously. So I'm just asking authorization of 12A as listed, 12A1 as listed.
And the reason that I'm stating that is just so that we're not going to buy cell phones and data cards for everyone in the county because those funds are restricted.
I agree.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So,
All right, so you're seeking action on 1A, B, C, and also on D, or not on D?
let's do, I would request D as well, D and E, if you don't mind, and then let me look at it pending my...
Well, if
my
you're
review.
ready, are you ready to seek it?
Yes, sir, I am.
And the cell phones are used for communication related to the technology fund issue?
That's why I'm kind of hesitating on D. I may have a harder time on that, and I'm not sure if we are paying any other constable cell phones out of JP Tech. That's why I hesitated on D. It may not belong there.
So you don't want any action then
Let's
on
not
E?
take action on D, if you don't mind. Yes,
Sir?
Let's not take action on D.
Let's not take
Let's not
action?
take this, yes.
On D only?
On D only. I'm sorry, on A1D.
Move for approval, except D.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. 12A2 is for the auditor's office. Authorization to purchase wireless device, and I believe they are adding a data card to their platform.
Can we do that?
Yeah, this is out of his funding.
Out of the
I have a
technology,
concern.
you're
No.
going to buy it out of the technology fund or?
No. I don't know that, no, I was going to say a random concern here, but no, that's all now.
Then there's one data card that we get, right?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
A3, authorization to purchase wireless device, and this is for Commissioner Precinct 2. I believe we are adding a small handset for his office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
12A4 for planning, they are just swapping platforms. They were on Sprint, now we're bringing them into the Verizon platform. Motion to approve.
And this, to the whole item,
Yes, sir.
those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
12A5, whole item, and we are adding 2 data cards for the purchasing department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 12A6 is, we have a list of various departments that have had service, and we're just requesting their yearly renewal as attached.
Move for approval.
Renan, these are only the departments that submitted a request, right? Because-
Exactly. I have a list, and we requested all departments to submit this paperwork. I have some departments that did not submit their paperwork, and they're getting their services suspended because we would
All
not
right, we
have
have-
the ability to
We
pay.
have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Have a good day.
Item 13, the HIDA Task Force.
Judge Commissioners, I'll present on their behalf. They're requesting approval to process the following invoice as a claim with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after auditing procedures have been performed by the county auditor. It's a claim for Superior Alarms in the amount of $85.
Approved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Item 14, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. First
Morning,
item-
sir.
Item A is requesting authorization to amend the Emergency Solutions Grant Program contract with Mujeres Unidas in Hidalgo County Program. The amendment will increase the existing contract amount of $191,745 by $34,154.48 for a proposed total of $225,899.48.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Does this mean Urban County will be providing the Mujeres Unidas organization with that amount of money?
Yes, Judge, what happened, one of the grantees did not meet our standards for being eligible for this monies, so we had to reallocate to different agencies.
Okay.
We are.
Thank you, sir. Item B.
hold a public hearing to consider public comments for Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1's proposed budget and program amendment for fiscal years 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, original work plans, and will utilize recaptured and forfeited funds for street improvements activity. The amendment will also include an additional location, Heidelberg, and project description for the Parks Recreation Facilities activities for fiscal year 21, 22.
No, just a minute, Joe. At this time, we convene a public hearing to consider public comments for Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1's proposed budget and program amendment. Is there anyone here that desires to speak in favor of or against or make any comments? No one appears to want to do that, so we will close the public hearing, move on to item B2.
Requesting approval of a budget and program amendment to Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1. The proposed budget and program amendment for fiscal years 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, original work plans, and will utilize recaptured and forfeited funds for a street improvement activity. The amendment will also include an additional location, Heidelberg, and project description for the Parks Recreational Facilities activities for fiscal year 21 and 22.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is requesting authorization to amend the Emergency Solutions Grant Program contract with Mujeres Unidas and Hidalgo County Urban County Program. The amendment will increase the current existing contract amount of $189,028.03 by $22,000 for a proposed total of $211,028.03.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item D is requesting authorization to amend the Emergency Solutions Grants Program contract with Salvation Army of McAllen and Hidalgo County Urban County Program approved on September 28, 2012. The amendment would increase the current amount of $68,500 by $28,000 for a proposed total of $96,500.
Move for approval. Second, Chair.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Just a minute, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between item C and item A, 14A and 14C? It's same contract, same program, same parties, except different amounts.
We rated the different capacities for each agency and determined that each one, the amount that we are allocating is the amount that they can actually
So
spend.
you're giving them 225 plus an additional 211?
On item A,
The other numbers are different.
25.
the original amount, Judge, for this agency is $191,745. That's the one?
But you've got two similar contracts, similar parties, just different amounts.
On the first one, it's for fiscal year 11, and the second one for fiscal year 12.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Judge. This one, we got some monies through it was a substantial amendment in fiscal year 11. Now, some monies were allocated out of that program year for different agencies, and now this one is 2012 funds.
So they're going to get the total of the two amounts, the 211 plus the
436, 436,000.
For the year 11,
Well, yes, out of one grant, we'll give them so much an amount, and then on the other program year, a different
All
amount.
right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Item 15, our right-of-way.
Yeah, Judge, Commissioners, 15A, authorization for county judge to execute the right of entry for Agua Specialty Utility District for a water line installation in the area of Sullivan City, and that's at our WIC office, and the state is requiring Agua to get a right of entry from the owner of the building.
Move for approval.
Judge,
Yes.
this, the document, the right of entry document contains blanks, and also, we're also interested in knowing whether the legal counsel review has been conducted.
Did you hear, Mr. Peña?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't get it, I haven't shown it to Steve yet.
The auditor has some concerns that you may need
Well,
to address.
the blanks have been filled, and we can approve it subject to council reviewing it. If,
There has been no legal review, Judge.
all it is a right of entry so that they can go in there and install the water line.
A motion has been made. Can we add that subject to legal review? Do you need to review it, Steve?
I haven't seen it, so.
Are these existing old lines they're gonna replace or new ones?
The what, sir?
Are these old lines, are they gonna replace them, or they're
They're,
new
they're
lines?
putting in new lines along the highway in front of the WIC building. And they're gonna have to go across our driveways into the building. We've got 2 driveways. So the state is requiring them to get a right of entry so that, they're not going on our right of way. They're just crossing our driveways.
Yeah.
A motion has been made to approve the authorization, subject to legal review. Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our item 16, our planning. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Raul Sin, Planning Administrator. First item on the agenda is preliminary approval of variance request, Salida Sol Estates Phase 6. Just for clarification, Judge and Commissioners, this actual item was presented back in November 13 of 2012, the subdivision, and received preliminary approval from this court. The reason we're bringing it back is just an item on the escrowing of the road located on the perimeter of the subdivision on the south side. The existing road extends all the way from Tom Gill Road west to the subdivision, and it's all 24 feet. But because of the collector designation, it requires a 36-foot edge-to-edge county section. However, since the eastern section is 24, we looked at it, the travel patterns, everything else, we have no objection to the 24 that's being requested. We met with the precinct through Mr. Villarreal. Didn't really see any problem with it. This is less county maintenance for obviously for the road and so forth and so on. So in essence, they're requesting a variance to reduce the escrow amount from the 36 feet wide to a 24, and then provide their 1/3 and so forth. We have presented to the advisory board, and they are recommending approval. My office has also looked at it, and I've looked at it again as a travel safety issue, and have no objection to the request and recommend approval as well. It's up to the court.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is Sharyland ISD North High School, Precinct 3. This is a one-lot subdivision. Actually, it's a 3-lot subdivision, but it encumbers the proposed high school that's going to be up on North Sherry Road. It has been presented to the City of McAllen, and it has been approved by the P&C and City Council for McAllen. And part of the subdivision is in a flood zone. However, we've made our comments to the engineers that it's going to have to be taken out because part of the facility that they're proposing, I believe it's an arts building or something, it's located in the flood zone, so they have to take that out. And they're working on that with FEMA. They are being provided water and through Sharyland Water Supply Corporation. And as I mentioned, McAllen's already recommended approval through their P&Z and City Council, and Advisory Board has also recommended approval. We have no objection to the preliminary approval of the subdivision.
Move approval.
Second.
Is that road, Sherry Road, is that a state or a county road?
It's a state road, sir. They had a lengthy discussion, Judge, on the projection of the road to the east. I believe it was mile 6.5, I think they were looking at, and they were looking at the possibility of splitting the campus. However, after lengthy discussion and so forth, I think they agreed not to do that, and they're going around the actual
At
campus.
their groundbreaking, they were wanting to know if we could help them widen Sherry Road in that area where the school is.
We're already working on that. We've discussed it on the MPO, and we're going to go ahead and help them on that, and then we're going to go ahead and build a new road there.
Good. All right, those in favor of the motion is made and seconded indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Mr. Cecina,
Yes, sir.
16A, no relation to any member of the Commissioners Court?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, sir. Just for the record, there is no relation. That is correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3 will be final approval, Acres of Santa Cruz Phase 1 subdivision. This is a 116-lot subdivision located in Precinct 3 up on the north side of the county, northwest corner of Inspiration Road and Monte Cristo Road. It's in the rural area of the county, so it's just strictly county approval. It's located in Flood Zone X, which is outside of flood zone. They are providing a detention area for the drainage with an overflow into Monte Cristo Road. And they are dedicating the right-of-way as required in PO. Sharyland Water Supply is a prime water supplier for that area. and they are installing septic tanks for the sewer, for the development. They've constructed everything. Everything has been inspected and is in order. And advisory board has also recommended approval, and my office recommends approval as well.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, item 3B, this one will have an abstention from Commissioner Flores.
Go ahead and present it.
And I'll present it. This is Iowa subdivision. It's a 52-lot, single-family subdivision located on Mile 8 in Iowa Road, southwest corner. It's in a flood zone X, and all the right-of-way has been dedicated in accordance to the right-of-way map. The water line has been installed, and it's being provided by Iowa Sud. The septic tanks have also been being provided for the development. It has also received final approval from the advisory board, and my office recommended final approval. Everything's been inspected and it's been constructed.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And for the record, Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3 is abstaining. Monica, thank you.
And last item on the agenda will be final approval of financial guarantee, Las Estrellas number 4 subdivision. This is a 52-lot subdivision located again in Precinct 3 on Minnesota Road, just south of 5 Mile. The development is partly using drainage swells and also extending a storm sewer to the nearest outfall, which is about a half a mile north of the development. Iowa Sud is the provider of water, and septic tanks are the means for sanitary sewer. All the other departments have also signed off on it, and they're requesting the amount of letter credit. It's $78,000 for the OSSF, paving $181,606, and street testing $5,447.76, and street signs $1952.24. They're under construction currently, and would like to record so they can be able to try to reserve some lots. And once construction is completed, then they'll come back for the release of letter of credit. Everything's in order. My office has been doing the inspections as they're moving along, and advisory board has also recommended approval.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Item 17A, our budget office.
Morning, Judge Commissioner, Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. If I can take item 17A, 1 through 4 together, these are the transfers to provide the funding for the personnel items that were approved last Commissioner's Court. I do want to note that on item 4, these funds are coming, we are providing interim funding from contingency while we await a favorable AG opinion regarding the reservation of the forfeiture funds. Once that opinion does come in, the auditor will reserve those funds and will appropriate those and put those back into contingency. But if I can get action on item 17A, 1 through 4.
17A. Move for approval. Second.
That's at 17A, 1
1, 2, 3, and 4.
and 4? All right. What is that number 4 about? I thought we took care of that when we voted on the salaries for the lawyers.
Yes, the auditor transferred the funds back from the Road and Bridge Fund into the general fund. However, absent the AG opinion authorizing the auditor to reserve those funds, he has left those funds within the general fund balance, and we're not able to appropriate those funds unless an emergency is declared. I did visit with the auditor. He did advise that once we do receive the AG opinion, an AG opinion has been requested by another county regarding this same matter. Once we receive a favorable opinion, he would reserve those funds and be able to appropriate those funds at that time.
But in the meantime, we have the opinion of our DA saying that we can do it.
Yes, sir. However, the auditor would not reserve those funds based on that opinion. He's requesting an AG
So what do we
opinion.
do, Steve? We got the DA saying one thing and the auditor saying another, and it's a legal issue.
To me, this is one compromise, because there is a pending AG opinion. And what they're saying is they're going to take the funds out of contingency. If the AG comes back with a favorable opinion, then the auditor will release those funds back to repay.
But isn't the AG opinion will take, what, 6 months, a year?
I don't
or
know when it was
something?
filed. I know it's pending. It's already been filed, so I don't know
Who
when.
filed it? Was it our senator or who requested it?
No, it's another county, I forgot the name of the county that submitted the request. Either the county auditor or the district attorney's office from another county requested the opinion, Judge. And if, like Steve was saying, if the Attorney General's office rules in favor of the reservation, then those funds will be replaced. But if not, the Attorney General's office basically is going to say that you cannot legally reserve those funds, like I'm saying.
But you're saying to, frankly, basically ignore the DA's opinion when there have been many times that we've had issues and you're always relying on the DA. And now the DA is saying that it needs to happen or it can happen legally, and you're asking us to ignore it and wait until we get an AG's opinion.
Judge, I don't blindly rely on the DA. You know, I request his opinion, and if his opinion is, in my opinion, in accordance with the law, I'll go with that. But in this case, the opinion that he's given, in my opinion, is not complying with the law.
But he's our legal counsel. I mean, when you look at the role of the auditor and the role of the district attorney, they're very different.
The role of the auditor is to ensure the execution of the law. I mean, this is a basic job that I have.
And how do you define the role of the DA?
He is a prosecutor for the state.
Well, yes, but he's also, at least he's told us many times that he's interpreting the legal issues for the county.
Right. And that's true. I mean, he assists the county in providing legal assistance, but he is a prosecutor for the state of Texas.
So, well, I understand that, but, well,
So what is it we're supposed to do here, Judge? Just 1, 2, and 3, or what?
Let me get the opinion of third attorney,
Steve Crane.
Commissioner, I will need to go back and look at this because I've not been requested to look at it. I'm thinking what was proposed here will be a temporary Band-Aid, but as far as giving a legal opinion of whether or not he can reserve those funds or take those funds, I need to research that.
in other words, we're going to take the money from the general fund.
From the contingency, yes, or from the general fund.
Yeah, and put it on, when we voted on the item, we were told it was going to come from bond forfeiture fees or something like that.
Correct. The bond forfeiture fees have been placed back into the general fund. This is, basically, we've contributed those fees into the general fund before the end of the fiscal year when they would have lapsed.
So what you're going to do here, you're going to transfer them from the general fund to the DA?
Yes, sir.
Sort of lend it to the, to be able to.
It's sort
pay
of
the
interim
salaries.
financing. Again, this is just one way to be able to fulfill those salary requests that the court approved. Other than that, the auditor would not process any of the
Does
changes.
it really matter? I mean, the money's, it's still part of the county, what account it comes from?
Yeah, it's still within the general fund. Either that we put the money in there right now, or we take them at the end of the year.
All right, well, so you're recommending we approve it as
I'm recommending that we
presented?
provide the interim funding at this time. That way we can proceed with providing those salary increases.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 17C is item 17C1 and 2 is approval of auto allowance in the amount of $4,000 for Coordinator 1, Slot T002, and pay the allowance to employee number 193992, as well as the revised salary schedule. These are grant funds, and these are allowable within the grant.
Move for approval.
Questions on that?
Yeah, everything's in order.
Sir?
Second.
Yeah, everything's in order. This one's okay.
That says to B1,
C1,
C1.
A and B.
A,
and B.
and B, I
And
guess.
B, of course, yeah.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Those monies don't come from the general fund. do
No,
they?
sir, those are grant funds, and they are allowed within the grant. They did allow for the travel allowance
right.
within the grant. We're just now appropriating those funds for that.
What is the
function.
pay allowance? I've never heard of that one. I know what a car allowance is, but
Oh,
what's a
it's
pay?
basically it's just to pay the allowance. It's not a pay allowance, it's to pay the allowance. It's
Okay.
just worded incorrectly there. Item C2, A, B, and C is approval to transfer supplemental pay in the amount of $3,000 from the 93rd District Court to the 139th District Court, from slot 002 on the 93rd to slots 002 and 004 at the 139th, with approval of the interdepartmental transfer and revised salary schedules.
These are for I guess, presiding judge to the Board of Judges. The functions have transferred from the 93rd to the 139th, so we're transferring those supplemental funds as well.
Move for approval on
Second.
2A, B, and C.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you. Purchasing,
Good morning. Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. 18A12, A, B, and C, no action to be requested or reports to be given. Item B1, this is for Precinct 1, recommending bid award and approval of contract lease to the lowest bidder, meeting all requirements or specifications. This is lease of parcels for Citizens Collection sites, and that is in Mercedes, Ray Jones, and Donna is Richard Coors. There is a, go ahead. There is a concern,
That's for trash collections?
pardon me? Collection stations, yes.
we have a motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye,
Audit-
motion carries.
Auditor's concern is the lack of funding.
Hold on, Marty.
Pardon?
Yes?
There's a lack of funding in this particular item, Judge.
They have funding. What they haven't done is submitted the requisitions to cover the leases.
Subject to funding.
Subject to the funding. They have the funding, they just need to enter the requisitions to
All right.
fund the two leases. So I do recommend that we keep the action taken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Subject to funding.
The second item is approval of professional services agreement with Harvey L. Hirschen, DBA HLH Appraisal Services, as a review appraisal provider on an as-needed basis, and he was selected from the pool.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On item 3, we're asking for no action. That will be placed on next week's agenda. We need to ask Betts to modify their agreement on 2 issues that we've already provided them.
All right, item C.
C is for Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute an on-call professional engineering services contract with R. Gutierrez Engineering for various projects for Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D is for Precinct 4. I'm asking for exemption from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A, a professional service.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And then presenting the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking the 3 firms, Hinojosa Engineering at 91, Bettis Consulting at 97, and Sames Engineering at 94. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Is that the first time Pettis ever does work for the county? I've never seen that name before.
It is from the pool. Let me look, if you want me to look at the...
Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I've never.
Those were the 3 selected, nominated by
Who
the
is the
precinct.
gentleman or the firm?
Bettis
principal?
Consulting Engineers.
I've never seen it before either.
Bettis Consulting
time I've seen it,
Engineers.
yeah.
The first time I've ever
Yeah,
seen it.
but what's his name? Where's he from?
I don't know, just a moment, see if I...
Because the question is it in the pool, right? 'Cause it's
They
in the
are from the pool,
Well,
but I don't know where they're located.
that's what they want. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay. The next one is authority to negotiate a contract for engineering services with the number 1 ranked Bettis Consulting.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last one is for WIC, that's E1, requesting approval to continue the current lease under the same rates and conditions with a new owner of the lease, and that is RS Properties LLC, including authority of the county treasurer to issue payment.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have, thank you.
So this is a transfer, Marty, of a contract that you had with one vendor to another vendor?
Correct, and the lease was purchased by the new vendor.
It is now 10:58. At this time, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, will be in executive session for a short while. All right, we're back in open session. Item 20, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 20A, I will defer to Mr. Peña.
Under real estate, Judge Commissioners, I've got parcel 14 and the Minnesota Drain. The appraised value is $25,171. The settlement demand is $27,030 for a difference of $1,859, and I recommend approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Also on the Minnesota Drain, parcel 17, appraised value $61,111, settlement demand $62,970 for a difference of $1,859. I recommend approval.
Second.
Okay. All right, the motion is made and seconded. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, would it be possible to list these items under the regular agenda as opposed to done this way?
Those come on the regular agenda next week because of your request.
Well, let me tell you the other reason it's not. The reason it's here is these real estate matters are confidential because we're going out and making a bid for the property. And it'll be, for example, this is on one project. There could be 25 up to 100 parcels in this project. If one owner finds out how much we're paying another owner, it could increase the other owner's demand for the amount he wants for his property. That's why the exception is there in the government code.
Yeah. But,
We already discussed it.
I think that there's an issue with the Open Meetings Act, Judge, and we have discussed this in the past, but I understand if it cannot be done, it cannot be done. But I don't think, in my opinion, based on my research, and I'm not an attorney, based on my research that I've done, I don't think this is proper. What?
Can I have that in writing?
Well, it's recorded, so you can bring it. But just for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item.
Item 20B, pending and/or potential litigation. There's nothing to report, no action. Item 20C, claim of Estra Gamboa. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $2,500.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20D, claim of Stephen Cruz. Again, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $111.60.
Move for approval.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20E, claim of Rosalio Espinosa. Judge Commissioners, for the record, this was brought up within the last couple of weeks. Court did take action on property damage, but there was a supplemental property damage report that was done, and I'm asking the court for authority to resolve the supplemental property damage report in the amount of $638.79.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
In item 20F, claim of Robert and Jacqueline Zavala. Again, this is an issue that was taken up by the court. The court had given me authority to make a settlement offer in settlement of $3,000. I bring this back so that we can clarify this. If the court will authorize a settlement of the same $3,000, but $1,500 for Mr. Robert Zavala and $1,500 for Jacqueline Zavala.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have this
Need a motion to
morning.
adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.